My name is Victoria Dillabough. I'm the BDC Internet Sales Director for the Kaizen Automotive Group. So we have 22 stores and a fleet operation company that operates in 49 states and all of Canada. Activix to DriveCentric was super easy. And I was actually impressed because you guys had never used that CRM before. You guys said VIN Solutions is a super easy one. So we did have VIN still in the States, and we pulled off our US dealerships even though we didn't have to because we like to drive so much in Canada. So the training process to onboard onto DriveCentric, I'll be honest, I was a little nervous because you get that email saying it's all online, all videos. And because our dealership group has been around for a long time, I think our first store we purchased in like 1996. So we have a lot of very older sales reps. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna watch these videos. Like there's just zero chance, but they all did. So I think that was just like game changing, because then by the time we actually did the training with Pod 11, everybody knew how to use the tool, so it was so easy. Then when we actually did the rollout, I felt like everybody was already an expert. So what we ended up doing was planning 5 days for training in every single store, and we only ended up needing 1 or 2 with one of us at the store, like a CRM champion. The videos were super easy to watch. I actually felt like they were engaging too. You know, some you watch, you're just like, wow, these are painful. Yeah, I felt like they were engaging. The questions were easy. I felt like people got out a lot out of them. So, and I think what was nice is they made people excited. I know you said something about dealers being nervous to switch onto a CRM. I think the videos made people excited, especially us who had already gone through a CRM change in the last year. Everybody was super anxious, but I think the videos gave people excitement. Starting on with the Sales Genius, in the beginning, I think people were nervous, especially we have a core BDC. So I think the BDC thought it was gonna replace jobs, but I think it's just given us more customers to engage with. The Sales Genius, working with it, we've never had an AI or anything like that before. Because our stores are larger, we're typically used to having all the sales reps have 600, 700 overdue tasks that they're never touching. So to see the Sales Genius and to see how many customers it's touching every day and how many re-engagements it's helping with, I think that everybody has been a huge fan. All of our sales managers say it's their hardest working sales rep in the dealerships now. Yeah, I think the Sales Genius for us has just removed the tasks that I think people didn't want to do anyways. Like even our BDC to email, day 30, day 45, all of that stuff. I think they just do it to like check the boxes that they've done it and to clear out the tasks. So now we've moved our BDC to kind of be like our service BDC. So our call expectation has gone from 30 outbound calls a day to 75 just in our BDC. And then the sales reps, I think, have said like, oh, it gets confusing, but we've just kind of said like, hey, like treat the AI like it's your BDC. We've always had a BDC. We've always had a sales BDC. And I think because you can impersonate the BDC, because you can impersonate the AI, I think you don't need to distinguish between sometimes, because we've always had where sometimes a customer is responding to one of the girls in BDC over one of the male sales reps for whatever reason, because it's the female customer service. So we named all of our AIs after our BDC reps or BDC managers. We changed something slightly in the name. So we have a Vicky instead of a Victoria. And then we're noticing they're getting more engagement. And then if they do come back and say, oh, I was just talking to this person, the sales rep can click in really quick that it's the AI and work off it. But I don't think we've had a lot of trouble since we've just thought to treat it like it's a BDC rep. Stop thinking about it as AI. Nobody knows it's AI. We don't tell that it's AI. We don't want anyone to know that it's AI. We just want it to be like an addition to the BDC. Yeah, I think the AIM is nice. It was the tool I was most excited about with DriveCentric because we have a 90-day process for our internet leads, and then everything that's a showroom visit, I always find after kind of day 5, it never gets touched again because the BDC doesn't touch those, right? It only does phone and internet. So I've always thought for as long as I've worked here, we're missing so many opportunities with that. So to have the AIM constantly go in the back end and work on stuff, I think is incredible. It's cool that it can read the notes and engage based off what's in the notes. I like that it's informal. I don't think that people pick up on the fact that it's AI either, which is nice. But I think it's my favorite part of DriveCentric is the AIM. We did have a general manager in our group talk about the Sales Genius and how it sends out the price drop emails and how we had a customer respond to the price drop email and come back in and purchase from that in the last few months. I mean, I think we just see it all the time with the AIM. It'll reach out and say, hey, like you haven't gotten back to us in X amount of time, and constantly, like I would say every single day in all of our stores, we have 8 responses in the little AIM bubble. So I think every single day it's saving deals that we otherwise wouldn't have and generating new business from us, because even our BDC, I think we have a pretty high functioning BDC. They're not able to touch everything. And now our BDC has kind of become like our sales reps, where they're only able to touch stuff in the first 14 days because we have so much activity, so many stores, so much everything. So the AIM is actually able to re-engage stuff that has been lost. So coming off of our last CRM, we got to a point where we were like, we are losing so much business because the CRM is barely functioning. And I think what was fantastic about that is I often don't think the sales managers or the general managers appreciate the CRM the way that a BDC manager or somebody in the BDC would, or even the sales reps. So switching for us and seeing all of the additions that DriveCentric has, I think that's been a big bonus. But I just think like the AI, the ChatGPT, that's my favorite function. We have a lot of sales reps who come from other countries, who English isn't their first language, or who obviously English wasn't their best subject or whatever. So we tell everybody, use ChatGPT before you send anything. Or BDC who doesn't know about all of the vehicles, because we use it across multi-brands. So I'll have a BDC rep who does Ford, Dodge, GM, and to be able to just say, hey, like type 6 sentences about a Ford F-150 and to be able to use that as your vehicle knowledge instead of having 16 tabs open. I think it makes us more efficient, saves us a lot of money, even though I think in my 20 group, kind of the biggest feedback of DriveCentric is that it's expensive. I think what people don't realize is it replaces a lot of tools, because we had CoVideo, we used ChatGPT, you use all the vehicle knowledge things on the side. So we were able to consolidate a lot of our products into one tool. And that's always the dream, right? To have one tool that actually does everything. I think that's the biggest complaint in the car industry, is that none of the tools communicate with each other well. They all do competing things. None of them work well together. None of them sync together. So I feel like DriveCentric is the first CRM that I've used that does it all. And I've used VIN, I've used Dealer Socket, I've used Activix. DriveCentric just feels like the future. Everything else felt like just very old school.